right, Sophie, you can stay here with us. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Monday. Sophie's back there. She's joining us this morning. And we had a request for hips and lower back, which I think is a really great idea. If you spent some time in the car over the long weekend, yeah, maybe you have some tightness. I actually took a lot of walks this weekend, runs, sort of, slash walk slash run. And sometimes that compresses my lower back as well. So that's going to feel really good. So I suggest that we start on our backs. Let's just start right in on our backs. And to support the lower backs, take your blanket and give it a roll. And then slide it under your knees. And that just makes it a little more comfy on the lower back. Also, if you're feeling tender in the lower back, you can just bend your knees and just make yourself feel comfy here. And then let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. And do take your shoulders and snuggle them underneath you. Have a nice broad open heart space. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, let's do that. You can also just soften your gaze and swallowing your throat. Just arrive here. Sophie's already very arrived. Good. She gave us a nice exhale. You're a good model, Sophie. And so just notice how your body is this morning. So if you're feeling a little tender in your lower back, just notice that. We'll work out the kinks. Feel the temperature of the air in your space. So we're wearing more clothes perhaps during these colder months. So notice the parts of the body that are exposed to the air and just feel that sensation. Listen to the sounds in your space. And if your eyes are closed, notice the light that shines softly through your eyelids. Notice any scents or aromas. All of these sensual experiences just remind us that we're alive, we're here, we're present. And then adding in one more, bring your awareness to your breath. Bring that breath up into the lungs, filling up every nook and cranny. Letting the belly soften and expand as you inhale. And then as you exhale, just a slow release of the air, letting the belly deflate. And you notice that sensation in the lower back even as you release the air from the body. And just bring your awareness completely to your breath as we take a few more breaths together. And see if you can notice that internal massage you are offering to yourself. Feel that expansion of the heart space. And then that slow exhalation that turns on that parasympathetic nervous system, giving us that flood of chemicals that help us feel good. Our bodies are so intelligent. We're so wondrously made. Let us pay attention to that. Continue breathing deeply. We'll take a few more breaths here. up completely. And then exhaling slowly. Good. So as I arrived here this morning, I realized that this is my birthday week. I'll be 62 this week. Oh my goodness, yes. My young, beautiful nieces were at the Thanksgiving table lamenting the early growth of gray hair, and they're so young. I was just like, oh, you guys. Oh, you young ones. But we have these two ways that we measure time. Chronos, that time that keeps marching on. It's the end of November. Soon it'll be December. How can that be? And then we have that Kairos time, the time where our soul resides, our spirit, our soul, our that part of us that is really eternal. So I'm going to think about that this week. And also, as we move through this practice and we unite our breath to our movement, we are remembering that we are bodies and we are souls. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I think that was Teilhard de Chardin who said that. So let's just remember that rather than ruminating over years and months and days and stuff. So as you're ready, let's work on that lower back and alleviate some tension we may have accumulated over our long holiday weekend. Just hug your knees into your chest and take some gentle rocks side to side. Just kind of feeling in, noticing what is going on. And then on your inhalation, just take your arms, bring them out to a T, and on your exhalation, gently rock your knees over to the right. Turn your head to the left and take a gentle twist. So inhale back to center, knees coming back to center, and gently lower them over to the left. Good. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, just some gentle twists right to the left. We'll start moving really gently. Just working out the kinks. Let's take one more each side. Breath and movement, uniting. Good. Come back to center. We'll take a hold of our right knee and extend the left leg long. Oh, I'm going to move my blanket. You might also try not to put it down on your dog. Good. Take some ankle circles with that right ankle. Go in one direction and then the other. Good. And then just take your right knee over toward your right shoulder. So we're working more into that right hip. And take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, just draw that knee over toward the left shoulder gently. Don't torque the knee, just gently across the body. And take a couple more, just gentle side to side motions. Good. And then find stillness, hug the knee into center, and then send the right leg up toward the sky. Press the heel toward the sky and draw your leg towards your face. You can keep your head on the ground or you can lift up. And maybe take a couple of flexes and points. Good morning, hamstrings. Excellent. Find stillness. See if you can notice if you're holding tension in the shoulders. Just relax the shoulders. Good. One more breath here. And then we'll bend that left knee and take this right ankle and gently place it right above the knee of the left leg. So you can stay here. You can give your right quadricep a little massage, or you can reach through your figure four, and we'll stretch that right hip a little bit more deeply. Yeah. You can rock from side to side just to kind of get that sensation in the right hip, and then find some stillness. Let's take 3 breaths here together. So maybe close your eyes and really feel into that hip. So pay attention to it. Later on, we'll practice a little body scan and practice just paying attention to specific areas of the body. For now, leave the attention right on that right hip. See if you can breathe into it. Good, nice big breath in. Good, slow breath out. Excellent. One more. Deep, full breath. Fill up. Let the shoulders relax. And let it go. Slowly lower the left foot to the floor. Take the right foot to the floor. Bring those heels up toward the hips. Take your hands, your palms facing down this time on the floor. Soften the shoulders. And here we're going to take our first bridge pose. So take a slow ascent up toward the ceiling using the strength of your quadriceps, pressing all 4 sides of the feet into the floor, and the back of the head is pressing into the floor so the neck is nice and soft. See if you can lift up a little bit higher. Take a breath here, and on your exhalation, slowly lower down. 1 vertebra at a time if you like that sensation, or just come all the way down. Extend the right leg, hug the left knee into the chest. Good. Take some ankle circles on this left side. Go both directions. Notice any cracks and pops. That'll happen. Good. Breathe in and take your left knee over toward the left shoulder. Just kind of maybe move it from side to side there. Just feel into this hip. Hips are going to be unique from side to side. Just get curious about what's different on this side. And then take it over to the right. Just gentle. Again, not torquing the knee. Keep your hands somewhere below your knee on your shin. Maybe take it left and right a couple more times. And then bring it to that left shoulder, hug it in. Take a nice full breath. Let it go. Good. Bring it back to center. Send that left foot high. Press the heel up toward the ceiling. Good morning, hamstring. Point and flex a couple of times. Good. And find stillness. Maybe lift your nose toward your knee. Maybe keep your head right where it is, head and shoulders totally relaxed. The stretch is only in this left hamstring, so bring your awareness there, breathe into it. Take a nice big breath in, and then bring your right foot to the floor. Heels come up toward that right hip, and cross your left ankle gently over your right quadricep. Hug it in so you can reach for the hamstring or the shin. Maybe give your left quad a little love there. Just decide where you want to be. So you can have your foot on the floor, you can hug it in. Whatever you do, keep your shoulders and your face nice and soft. Keep that attention on that left hip. Send some breath there. Breathe in. Gentle love for that left hip. Serves us so well. Good. Nice big breath in. And a soft breath out. Let's take one more together. Breathe it in. Maybe hug it in a little bit more. Nice. And then slowly lower the right foot to the floor, lower the left foot to the floor. And we'll take our hands, draw your heels a little bit closer to your hips if they're not already there. What's that, Sophie? You having a dream? And then take your hands, palms face down to the floor. We'll take our second bridge pose. So lift on up, just gently, so you can feel those quads turning on. And maybe you decide you want to hug your shoulders underneath you a little bit more and clasp your hands beneath you. And keep pressing into all four sides of the feet as you lift your hips a little bit higher. Soft neck, back of the head on the floor, gazing up. Take another breath in. Squeeze your glutes a little bit more, maybe lift a little bit higher, and then slowly take a lower down, one vertebra at a time if you enjoy that sensation, or just come down at your leisure. Hug your knees into your chest. Take some circles. Let's work out that sacrum. Good. Slow and easy. We'll just start slow, being gentle. And then find some stillness. Give yourself a nice big hug. Hug your knees into your chest. And this is a choice coming up, so you can hold on to your shins and start to rock forward and back, which gives you a little massage. If that just doesn't work for you, just forego that. Come on up to a seat. But if you're enjoying the rock, maybe you'll also enjoy coming into a boat pose. So when you're ready, we're going to balance coming into our boat. So you can keep your knees bent, draw the belly into the spine, draw those shoulders back. You can always take one foot to the floor at a time and just pause here. See if you can bring your breath, your awareness to your breath. Maybe you release your hands. Maybe you straighten your legs. Whatever you do, keep those abs engaged. Take a nice big breath in. And when you're ready, we'll bring both feet to the floor. Come to seated. Hug your knees into your chest again. Sit up nice and tall. Take your first seated cat-cow. So take your gaze up toward the ceiling. Stretch the front of the throat. And on your exhale, bring your chin to your chest, round forward. And we'll take two more of those, just moving with the breath, stretching the neck, stretching the throat as we gaze up. Exhale down, chin to chest. Good, one more. And then exhale. Awesome. So we're going to come to seated Sukhasana. Always the option to tuck a block or a blanket underneath your hips. I'll go for the block today. So the block gives you a nice height, so you can lengthen your spine. You can feel that sense of lift. It's really nice. And then you have your knees under your hips, a little bit softer on the lower back as well. So sit up nice and tall, draw your shoulders up to your ears. Take a few shoulder rolls here. Let's enjoy this shoulder stretch. And then let the shoulders come all the way down, away from the ears. Feel that space. And then take your chin down to your chest. We'll just take some gentle neck rolls here. So you can make some circles. Good. Just tune in to any sensations, any sounds, and just be with it. Just be with what is. Good. And then come to stillness. We'll take 3 more seated cat-cows. So we'll draw our shoulders back, lift our gaze, shine your heart, and then exhale, round forward. Bring the belly into the spine, bring the chin to the chest. Inhale to shine. And then exhale, come into your cat pose. Good, gentle stretch of the upper back as you round forward. Last one. Good, nice exhale, Sophie. And come up to seated. Excellent. Let's switch the cross of our legs. So we are getting into the hips. It's just a very gentle, Sukhasana is a hip stretch. So take a big breath in, reach your arms up, get really long, look up at your fingertips, wiggle the fingers, make sure you can see them. And then on your exhale, take a gentle twist over to your right. So take a gaze over your right shoulder. Just a gentle twist on the neck, keeping soft, keeping smooth breath. We'll take 3 breaths here. So take it to the place where you feel an edge, but not too much. All right, so inhale, lengthen, then exhale, twist as deeply as you are ready. Good. On your next breath in, we'll lift up, reach up, look up, wiggle your fingers, and take your twist to the opposite side. Give your dog a little pat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, take your gaze to this side. Thank you, Sophie. Yeah. It's nice to have you here again. You haven't been here in a while. Take another big breath. And an exhale to twist. Good. Notice we stir things up. My throat chakra is getting a little, yeah, it's moving things. So we're moving energy. So on your exhalation, slowly unwind. We'll take whatever's beneath you away. Come on up and decide if you, if you want to bring something underneath your knees for tabletop pose. I have 2 layers of carpet. So my knees are nice and padded, but if you want something under your knees, please do that. If you have a hard surface beneath you. And then spread your fingers nice and wide. Press into all the joints of the fingers. And let the tops of the feet just relax. Sophie, shake it out. I wonder if Sophie realizes she's got moves named after her. When you're ready, we'll take some genuine cat-cows. So lift your gaze, lift your tailbone on your inhale. And then take your cat pose, press the mat away. Really draw the belly into the spine on your exhalation. Good. Move with your breath. So this is integration of breath to movement. I think some people think of the breath as the spirit entering the body, that spiritual, that prana that we all share. So think of that maybe. That integration of body and spirit and mind. And take a few more. Just moving forward and back with that spine. We'll work out the kinks. And then when you get to your next cat pose, let's pause here. Really press into the mat. Really draw your belly into your spine. Take a big breath in and then send your hips back towards your heels. And just briefly, so especially if your knees bother you in this position, we won't be here long. Come back forward and we'll take some figure 8s. So just move that body organically. That'll release a little more tension in the hips. Make it your own so you can incorporate some more cat-cows into your figure 8s. Or just kind of get funky with it. Just allowing yourself to release any tension in the hips and the lower back. And then once you've completed to your satisfaction those figure 8s, bring your knees nice and wide, bring your big toes to touch, and then we'll take our palms, face them up, and then send them forward. So we release the wrists, and then let your forehead come down to your block or your mat, and maybe you even tuck something underneath your hips if that's supportive for you. And then take your hands and just open them and close them. Bring some blood flow into those fingers. Good. Breathe in and exhale it out. Take one more full breath in and send that breath into your lower back. Take your fingertips this time, press them into the earth and crawl them forward. Get some blood flow into that upper back. You can really claw your mat here and feel that energizing muscle engagement in the upper back. And then lift your gaze and take your hands over to the left lower back down to the mat and take your right hip back towards your right heel. So you're really stretching that right side body here. Also keep the engagement by clawing your fingers in the upper back. So really pressing fingertips into the earth will give you that experience of engagement in the upper, back, traps, lats. Yeah. Good. Breathe in and exhale. Just pause here. Come back to center. You can take your hands and clasp them and place them right on the back of your head, just on that occipital ridge, and see if that gives your neck a little release here. Take a nice full deep breath and let it go. Slowly. And then release your hands back to the mat. We'll take them over to the right. Yeah, get that stretch in the side body. Send the left hip back toward the left heel. Good. Breathe in. Really claw your fingers so you can draw that right shoulder back as well as the left. Feeling that engagement in the upper back. Good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let it all go. Take one more pass through the center. Take your hands outsides of your shoulders. Press yourself back up to tabletop. Remove any props that are close by. Just leave it nearby. Take your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide again. A little farther in front of you than they were in tabletop. Sophie, shake it out. Tuck your toes. Begin to lift your hips, coming into your first downward facing dog. So, downward facing dog, really nice stretch for the lower back. Also the hams. Hello, hammies. Walk your dog a little bit. Sophie usually perks up when I say walk. She must be really tired this morning. Oh, yep, not yet. Come up on your toes, stretch your feet, and then lower your heels down to the earth. Find just a moment of stillness here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. One more breath here. Settle in, lengthen a little bit more. Maybe lift your hips a little bit higher. Good, so strong. And on your exhalation, we'll take a slow walk, bending your knees as much as you need to. Come into your forward fold. So release your wrists. Just take some wrist circles. Bend your knees again. And maybe bring your belly down to your quads, your thighs. Good. Slowly release. Straighten your legs a little bit more and take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, and draw your elbows out to the side. See if you can let your head just hang. Only if you don't get too dizzy. If you do feel a little bit dizzy, just come halfway up. Maybe hands come to shins. So if you're here, see if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Take a big breath in, shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no tension in the back of the neck. Good. On your next inhalation, bring your hands to your shins, draw your shoulders away from your ears and come into that halfway lift, Arda Uttanasana. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Nice length from the tailbone to the head. Breathe in and breathe out. Refold. Good. Release the head. Take your right hand to the outside of the left shin. Bend your right knee. Sweep your left arm up. Again, only if you're not dizzy. Make modifications as needed. Come up a little bit more if you are. Take your little twist. Maybe take a half bind if you want to take your arm around your back, palm face up. Take your gaze up toward the ceiling. So that left shoulder opening, that right hand on the left ankle, giving you that stability, that
little bit of resistance. Breathe in one more time. And then breathe out, straighten the right leg, release the hands, circle out the wrists. Bring your hands to your elbows and come into a ragdoll here. And shake your head yes and no again. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. On your next breath in, bring your hands to your shins. We'll be here for just a minute longer or so. And draw your shoulders away from your ears, halfway lift, Arda Uttanasana. Good, breathe in. Lengthen the spine from the tailbone to the head. Really feel long, length. And then on your exhale, refold. Release your hands. Take your left hand to the outside of that right ankle. Sweep the right arm up. Good. Take your twist on this side. Breathe in. And breathe out. All these forward folds, just head under heart, bringing all that blood flow to our brains, enhancing everything. A girl can dream, right? Release your right hand down to the mat, fingertips come to the mat. Bring yourself first up to your halfway lift, and then bend your knees as much as you need to, root into your feet, and start to rise up. One vertebra at a time. If that feels good to you, reach your arms up. Get really long. Take a big breath in, lift and spread your toes, and then press them into the earth. Engage the legs, tuck the belly. Take a hold of your right wrist. Take a left side bend, leaning to the left. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale back up, reach up, look up. And exhale, take a hold of the left wrist, side bend right. Good, breathe in, breathe out. Inhale back up to center. Let's take a little back bend, so gentle, especially if your back is a little tweaky. Take your palms to the lower back and see if you can press down. See if you can give yourself a little massage and make some length there, and squeeze your shoulder blades together as you gently lean back and look up. Gentle on the neck, squeezing elbows toward one another, opening up that heart space. Good, breathe here. And on your exhalation, we're going to fold forward. So bend the knees, take your fingertips to floor or blocks. So blocks are great. Come into your forward fold. Straighten your legs a little bit more. Move a little faster here. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step the right leg all the way back. Come into your runner's lunge. So great place, especially to support the back, to use your blocks. So you can take them the lower or the medium height or even a little higher up. And then once you get to where your sweet spot is, just make yourself shiny, shine your heart, draw your shoulders back and down. Take a nice big breath in. And then lower that right knee to the floor. Lower the top of the right foot to the floor. We'll keep our fingertips on the blocks till we feel nice and tall. Just elongated in the spine. Send that crown up toward the ceiling. Good. Breathe in. And then maybe let your arms reach up toward the sky. And let your fingers come together. Clasp them and send those pointer fingers up toward the sky and just lean back. So finding that gentle back bend, and the stretch is also in the right hip flexor. So breathe in. Yeah, keep the breath smooth as you can as we get a little more intense with our stretches. Breathe in and breathe out. Release your hands back to the block. Take your hands, if you're comfortable, to your left thigh and lean slightly forward, coming into your Anjaneyasana. This will give you a stretch in the right hip flexor again. Good. Breathe in, shine, and breathe out. Excellent. We'll take our hands to the mat, framing the left foot, tuck the right toes, lift up on that right knee, and then send your left leg back, coming into your downward facing dog. Take a moment here in down dog. Lift your hips, send your heels to the floor, and just breathe nice and slow. Good. Breath in and breath out. Soft neck. Inhale, come up and your toes, stretch your feet. And exhale, send the heels down to the floor. Good. Inhale, look forward, take a walk forward, come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold again. Good. Inhale, root to rise, reach up. Send your fingertips up to the ceiling, look up. Take a hold of your left wrist. Let's lean right together. Breathe in. Good. Breathe out. Both feet firmly planted. Inhale back to center. Take it to the other side. Good. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to take our back bend. So look up at your fingertips. Take them back to your lower back. So options here. You can take your palms to the sacrum and just kind of press down like we did before. You can take your hands and clasp them, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Whatever you do, look up. Be gentle with the neck as you lean back. Press the pelvis forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. All the things. Breathe in. Good. Breathe out. Nice. On your exhalation, we're going to bend our knees. Forward fold, slowly bringing hands to the floor, to your mat or your blocks. Straighten your legs as you come into your forward fold. Soften the back of the neck. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. And then exhale, take your hands to your blocks or your mat. Find that sweet spot. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Step back with your left leg this time. You can hop switch if you like. Good. Find that sweet spot. So fingertips can come to blocks. Just slowly come up. The knee is off the ground, off the mat, but always the option to lower it. When you're ready, we're going to peel up, rising up. Sorry, now lower your knee. Lower the top of the foot. Breathe in. Take your palms together. Clasp your hands and take your pointer finger. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Reach up. Take your pointer fingers pressing together. There we go. And then lean back. So little back bend, gentle back bend. Stretch on the left hip flexor this time. Yeah. So you might notice it more on this side. You might notice that it's feeling a little more stretchy. Just notice, get curious about your body. Enjoy the experience of breath as you lean back a little bit more. And then slowly release your hands back down. Take them to your leg and just lean forward. Gosh, yeah. Nice stretch for the hip flexor. Keep that right foot grounded, toes pressing into the earth. Breathe in, get shiny, and breathe out. Good. We're going to take our hands to blocks or floor. Take your left toes to the mat. Take your right foot back to meet the left. Come on into a downward facing dog. So maybe walk the dog a little bit if that feels good. Excellent. Take just a moment here. Breathe in. And breathe out. Press the heels back toward the floor. Good. And then we're going to come up on our toes. Begin to take that gentle walk, but just come to about the center of your mat. And just let your fingertips graze your body as you slowly rise up. Coming in to a nice stretch, leaning back, looking up. And then stand up nice and tall. Bring your palms together at heart center. We'll come into a mountain pose here. So let your palms face forward. Stand up nice and tall. Draw the shoulders back and down. Lift and spread the toes. Just feel your connection to the surface beneath you. Imagine it's the earth. You're standing on a level surface somewhere, looking out in the distance, finding a tree, an imaginary tree that you can fix your gaze on, and that tree is not moving. The wind is blowing out my window here, but your tree is not moving. So fix your gaze there on that majestic tree. Just imagine the roots of that tree, just like your roots, deep in the earth, deep in this experience of life. And then we'll take that left foot and we'll root that left foot, but lift the right leg up, coming up to your toes, and externally rotate the right leg. So the right heel comes to the right ankle. Or if you're really feeling balanced and steady, take a hold of it, draw that up to the inner thigh. Keep your gaze on that steady tree that's been there. Imagine it's been there for hundreds of years, chronologically that is. And then maybe send your branches out, grow your leaves. Yeah, be one with the tree, your imaginary tree. And if you fall out, you know what? Come on back whenever you're ready. Also, the option always to use your wall. Just see what kind of steadiness you can find. Just allow the wobble to happen and keep your breath steady. You've got this. One more round of breath, slow and steady. Good. And then when you're ready, bring your palms together. See if you can bring them together above your head. Draw them right down the center of the body. Let them land at your heart. Take your right knee, send it forward, and then down to the earth. And just walk it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. Let it go. One side down. And just notice. So the hips are going to feel different. See if you can sense the difference between the right and the left side already. Good. Shake the right hand right and left. Shake the left hand up and down. And laugh about that. Shake the left hand left and right. Shake the right hand up and down. And laugh about that. No sense getting serious. Look down at your feet. Lift and spread your toes. Take them about hip width. And imagine your right foot growing deep roots into the earth as you externally rotate the left. So one side's always going to be a little more challenging. Find your tree, your drishti, your imaginary or real tree that's not moving, and decide where you're going to be for your tree pose. So your heel can be at your right ankle, or you can externally rotate, bringing that foot to the inner thigh of the right leg. Good. Decide if you're going to grow your branches. Yeah. What if you were a tree that was here for hundreds of years? What would you have seen and experienced? So many seasons, so many changes, and yet you are rooted. Here you are. Amazing. Amazing. Good. Drop any leaves that just you don't need to hold on to. Yeah. Keep that breath smooth and steady. Keep your drishti solid, that non-movable, gazing object. Take one more breath in, and then bring your palms together. See if you can bring them together above your head and draw them right down to your heart center, and then release. Walk your roots. Good. And then we're going to bring our feet wide. Let your toes point out. Now, we're coming to the mat, and if a squat is not going to work for you, just forego the squat. We're coming down all the way. Come down as you are able. But if you'd like to join me for a squat for another opportunity to open our hips, come on down. So the elbows can press into the inner thighs. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep pressing the legs into the hands into the legs. You've got it. And if you're on your mat, come on down. But if you're enjoying this squat, we're going to stay for just a couple more breaths. If you're already on your mat, come down to your back and bring your feet together in Supine Badakanasana. So your bottoms of your feet come together. That's where we're heading. Good. One more breath in. This should open our hips a little bit more. And then as you're ready, just take your hands back behind you. Come on down to the mat. You can take your feet to the floor and just windshield washer side to side. Getting into those outer hips. Good. And then come on back down to the back, to that place where we started. Sophie hasn't moved a bit. Good girl. Hug your knees into your chest, because yeah, that feels so good. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take both feet to the floor. We're going to bump our hips over to the right, and then take your knees over to the left and open up for a gentle twist. Good. Take your gaze over to the right. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Soften the face, soften the jaw. Just allow this twist to release any leftover tension in the lower back. Take one more breath in. And then we'll slowly draw the knees back to the chest. Take one more twist to the opposite side. Take your gaze over toward the right, toward the left. You know. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Come back to center. We're just going to just notice here. You might take some circles while we're transitioning. Just notice if perhaps you skipped that rock forward and back. That might feel good now. So just see what happens. See if maybe you have a little bit more softness. Maybe that massage will feel good now. And after you've rocked forward, bring your legs long, flex your feet, reach your arms up and overhead. Decide if you would like a blanket under your knees or a strap around your feet. And we'll just come into a final forward fold here. So allow the head to just surrender. And maybe you reach for your pants or your edges of your feet, or you have your strap. Wherever you are, let your shoulders soften. Just let your chin come down to your chest. And just let this forward fold again activate that parasympathetic nervous system, sending all those healthy, happy hormones, neurotransmitters coursing through our bloodstream. One more chance to breathe in a little bit more deeply. And one more chance to just let it go. In this practice, that is. On your next breath, take your fingertips, draw them all the way up your body until you're seated. And here's your opportunity for Shavasana on your back or a seated meditation. So decide where you're going to be for your final integration. Maybe tuck something under your hips if you're joining me at on your bum. And then sit up nice and tall. Just let your hands rest where they're comfortable. So we'll take one last hip opener here. And just lengthen your spine. Really think about the length of the spine, the crown of the head reaching toward the heavens. You might take your pointer finger to touch your thumb, bringing a little mudra to your practice, and just let your eyes soften or close. Well, regardless of where you are, on your back or seated, just let go. Bring your awareness to your crown chakra, that center of the top of the head. Yogis say that's the connection to the heavens, to the spiritual realm. So just imagine that area, bringing your awareness there. And then draw your awareness down to your eyes, the backs of your eyes, the eyelids, and then down through your sinuses, into your jaw, your mouth. Relax the tongue as you bring your awareness down into your throat, the front and the back. Allow your awareness to drift down to your shoulders, your arms, all the way down through your elbows and your wrists. Imagining that energy flowing out the tips of your fingers. And bring your awareness into your heart space, the front and the back. Just imagine that heart space open, engaged with the world, flowing with energy. And then drawing that awareness down into the solar plexus, the front and the back, that mid-back, the seat of our will. Draw that awareness down into the pelvis, the hips, the lower back. Imagine that area fluid, pain-free, easy breezy. And send the awareness down the legs, both legs down into the knees, down to the ankles and the feet. Just imagining that energy flowing out the tips of your toes and the bottoms of your feet. And draw that energy all the way back up. In your imagination, just see that energy flowing back up through your body, up and out the crown of the head, surrounding you, cascading you with beautiful light, beautiful energy. Let's just be for a moment with that energy as we allow this practice to integrate our mind, our body, and our spirit. As you're ready, begin to deepen the breath. Make some small movements wherever you are, just turning the head from side to side perhaps, or wiggling fingers and toes, just waking the body. And if you're on your back and you want to stay there, do it. But if you would like to roll to one side, coming into that fetal position, just notice that transition. Notice how you feel. And perhaps you want to join those of us who are seated. Come on up. And then sit nice and tall one last time. Take your shoulders up to your ears, draw them back and down. And then take your arms out wide, reach up and look up. Take a big breath in. Imagine you're reaching for all the goodness. Take your palms together, draw it right down into your heart center. Let your chin come down to your chest and take a moment. Give yourself a pat on the back for showing up, for practicing, and then send a prayer out to someone who could use it. Good thoughts go a long way. Prayers work. Thank you so much for practicing again, for showing up to your mat, for being you. Namaste.